Tonight at 5, President Biden sending negotiators from his administration to Detroit this weekend as United Auto Workers hit the picket lines. Plus, what's next after the state assembly passes a redistricting reform plan? You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Lawmakers at the state capitol were burning the midnight oil, trying to hammer out the details on a plan that could even the playing field when it comes time to draw legislative maps. It's something Democrats have been pushing for a long time, but they voted against it last night. So what happened behind closed doors? Political reporter Will Keneally takes us behind the scenes with more. Will?
Well, Eric, when we talk about these maps, it's less about the lines actually on the ground and more about the representation that each party gets here at the state capitol. So Wisconsin is roughly a 50-50 state, but Republicans control close to 2/3 majority in both chambers of the legislature. Now, they're introducing a plan to take the politics out of that redistricting process and implement a nonpartisan redistricting committee. And through that, so they did a couple of amendments last night to try and get the Democrats on board with that plan. That included that the vote would need to be bipartisan for these maps going forward. Also making sure that the maps would comply with the Voting Rights Act and some language that could remove the partisan legislature's involvement with the process. This, though, was not enough for Democrats to support the bill, according to one of the plan authors.
Their leadership was hard on them. They pretty much put the order down. If you watched last night, they weren't allowed to talk. And I think one of the reasons for that is we have them all on record over the years supporting this exact plan.
But Doddville Republican Todd Novak there says that with more time,
I could have got some more.
So Democrats have said that they want to take the partisan legislature completely out of the picture and have the courts be the last say on the lines. Now, those district lines, again, would control how much of a majority Republicans have at the Capitol here. But to take the legislature out of that process, it would take a constitutional amendment. Now, Republicans say that they would be on board with that, but nothing like that was floated last night. And we'll continue to watch this whole process unfold as it heads over to the state Senate. Reporting from the Capitol, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
All right, Will, thank you. Rain is possible tonight, also tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Gary Kinalte out on the weather patio. He has the latest details. Gary?
Yeah, the clouds are moving in, but the rain has been slow to follow, and what rain there has been dissipating as it pushes in our direction. Now, you look on visible cloud track, and here comes that band of clouds in from the west. But as you take a look at Doppler track, look what's happening to the rain. Poof. The rain just kind of evaporates as it moves into southern Wisconsin because the air is drier here. So the chances for rain, at least for this evening, are going to be pretty small, which is good news for football games. 3-hour future track radar confirms that. We don't see much in the way of shower activity popping up this evening. Low temperatures last night weren't as cool, mainly in the 50s. A few places were in the upper 40s. Madison bottomed out at 50, but current temperatures are in the 70s across much of southern Wisconsin, except farther to the north and west where that cloud cover is a little bit thicker. Notice La Crosse right now is at 68 degrees. Janesville's at 75. Here in Dane County, it's 78 degrees in Middleton, 76 degrees in Edgerton, or in McFarland, and 75 degrees in Mount Horeb. Look for skies to be mostly cloudy this evening. Just a slight chance for a shower. Most areas will stay dry. Temperatures dropping into the middle 60s by late evening. Later on, I'll take a look at how much rain we can expect, if any, as we head through the first part of the weekend.
Record corporate profits, which they have, should be shared by record contracts for the UAW. It's my hope that the parties can return to the negotiation table to forge a win-win agreement.
President Biden hopes to continue talks between United Auto Workers and the automakers after weeks of contract negotiations ended with no deal. Thousands of union workers are now on strike. Ivan Rodriguez shares the potential ripple effects the walkout could have on suppliers and also local economies.
As the clock strikes midnight, workers walk off the job at the Ford Assembly plant in Wayne, Michigan, a GM plant in Wentzville, Missouri, and the Stellantis assembly plant in Toledo, Ohio. Targeted strikes designed to hit profit centers at all three automakers.
This strategy will keep the companies guessing, and if we need to go all out, we will.
Part of the United Auto Workers Union's demands include an immediate 20% raise, followed by 4 additional 5% raises, restoring cost of living increases, and retiree health care coverage for all hires.
I'm not greedy. I just want to make sure that my family is provided for and make sure that we can eat, bills paid,
So far, Ford has offered a wage increase of 20% during the life of the contract, which the company called generous. GM also offered a 20% increase, and Stellantis 17.5%.
I'm very frustrated because I think we had an offer that resonates with our people.
President Joe Biden backed the UAW on Friday, sending senior advisor Gene Sperling and Deputy Secretary of Labor Julie Su to Detroit to assist with the negotiations.
The bottom line is that auto workers help create America's middle class. They deserve a contract that sustains them in the middle class.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
And UAW leaders say they expect to be at the bargaining table tomorrow and are awaiting a response on their counteroffer. Meanwhile, strike talks in Hollywood could resume next week. The Writers Guild, reaching out to studios Wednesday, requested a return to the bargaining table. The two sides have been at a stalemate over a number of issues since back in May, and that includes a number of writers employed on shows, residuals from streaming services, and how to handle AI technology. Now in its 5th month, the strike is one of the longest in the history of the Writers Guild. In just the last hour, EW Health nurses and SEIU union leaders, along with Senator Tammy Baldwin, held a rally across the street from the hospital, calling on administration to do more to retain veteran nurses. Let's go to Armand Rahman with more.
Yeah, Eric, almost a year ago to the day, hospital officials, nurses, and union leaders reached a last-minute agreement to avoid a strike. And since then, they say despite going into meet and discuss sessions, things haven't changed as they should. They called for a transparent pay scale for all nurses, especially veteran nurses, who say having their wages capped for years is causing them to feel unappreciated and leave, putting more stress on newer nurses.
It's pretty dire. A friend of mine just called me. She's been off orientation since Monday, and she had a brand new nurse with her today in the operating room. So these situations happen far too many times, and it's terrible for patient care.
And meanwhile, the hospital released a statement ahead of the rally, which read in part, our strong recruitment and retention numbers indicate that not only do nurses want to come here for work, but they are more likely to stay. The memorandum of understanding with SEIU removed the threat of a strike for work action while also providing an avenue for either party to arbitrate disagreements on compliance with the MOU through the Wisconsin Employment Relations Commission. And I also spoke to a nurse who's been working at the hospital for about a year. Hear how the situation affects him as a newer employee tonight at 6. Eric.
All right, Armand, thank you. As her case goes to the courts to decide if she can stay in her role, Chief Elections Official in Wisconsin, Megan Wolf, is sitting down with us for a one-on-one interview. Republicans voted yesterday in the legislature to fire her, a move that Democratic Attorney General Josh Kaul is suing over, claiming it was illegal. We asked Wolf today, over the last 3 years of conflict, has she ever considered simply giving up and stepping down?
I feel that very, very strongly that I will not give in to political pressure. I think that that sets such a dangerous precedent. If I were to say this is too much, that the politics have gotten too difficult, that people are claiming things that are false about me or false about the election system, and I'm going to allow that to drive a decision I make or to make me step down, I think that would just be such a shame.
Naomi Cole's full conversation with Megan Wolf coming up this Sunday on For the Record at 10:30 a.m. New at 5, the DNR is reinstating burn permits because of the prolonged drought conditions. Officials say there is also potential for elevated fire danger. That means the DNR can suspend burning on any given day. The permit reinstatement begins at midnight Monday in designated DNR protection areas until further notice. It includes parts of Columbia, Dane, Sauk, and Iowa counties. You might notice a new patch on the Milwaukee Brewers uniforms during tonight's game against the Washington Nationals. That's because the organization announced a new advertising partnership with Northwestern Mutual. It'll be the first time in franchise history the team will have ads on their jerseys. It's a trend throughout the MLB after the league announced it will allow teams to sell ad space on their uniforms earlier this year. The Brewers take on the Nationals at American Family Field tonight at 7:10. Today, UW-Madison commemorated the life and work of Professor Emeritus Ho-Chunk artist Truman Lowe. During a ceremony, the university also dedicated a sculpture that was created by Lowe back in 1997. Effigy Bird Form was showcased in a year-long exhibition of 20th century works at the White House. The Jacqueline Kennedy Garden in Washington, D.C. features open air between the metal pieces there. Lowe said the sculpture represents the loss of indigenous burial mounds, but also celebrates the strength and vitality of Wisconsin indigenous traditions.
It's a huge honor for him, and I feel pretty fortunate to be part of that. group to be recognized, and because Truman's a very important person, and it was a pleasure and my honor to know him and get to meet him and work with him.
The piece took over 200 man-hours. Lowe's sculpture now stands at the north of Van Hise Hall in the southwest corner of North Charter Street at University Drive. There are some cool things being made here in the Badger State, and starting next week, Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce will determine the coolest product of them all. WMC has been running the Coolest Thing in Wisconsin contest since back in 2016. That competition highlighting the innovation and proliferation of Wisconsin's manufacturing industry, an industry that employs over 16% of the state's population. This year, there are more than 100 nominees signed up for the first round of voting.
We're going to have that first round of voting where the top 16 products will actually move on to a tournament-style bracket that we call Manufacturing Madness, and then we're going to have head-to-head competition of different products that we make here in the Badger State.
Stoughton Trailers is hoping to make a run in the tournament. Their dry van trailer takes safe supply transportation to a new level. Companies like Target and Walmart wouldn't be able to fill their shelves without those trailers.
Something that is so critical to supply chains, to everything that people use every day. So everything in your home, everything at your work, everything in the stores has been transported.
First round of voting starts Monday, lasts a full week. People can visit madeinwisc.com to look at the nominees and decide what product is the coolest in Wisconsin. Coming up, Gary with our complete forecast as we head for the weekend. Plus, a new survey shows 42% of college students are carrying credit card debt. Some tips on paying off that debt after the break. And on Wall Street, the Dow closing the week down almost 289 points. The NASDAQ falls 218. S&P 500 loses 55. And we'll be right back.
With Chevy Silverado and Silverado HD, you can take on the mountains, or you can move them. With the power of up to 36,000 pounds of max available towing and the confidence of an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Whatever your mountain, there's a Silverado for you. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $750 cash allowance on this Silverado. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
No matter what kind of store you visit, no matter what kind of tobacco you ask for, it's illegal to sell tobacco products to anyone under 21. So remember to bring your ID. It will get checked. Because in Wisconsin, 21 means 21, no matter what.
Wish you had help getting things done. Same. So I got Spectrum One. It's fast internet, unlimited mobile, and advanced Wi-Fi, all for a great price. Spectrum helps me run all this easily. Work, bust. Treat dispenser, treating. And since I'm always on this, unlimited mobile is a no-brainer.
Get Spectrum Internet for $49.99 a month, plus advanced Wi-Fi, and your first line of unlimited mobile free for 12 months. Call 833-802-4999 or visit Spectrum.com today.
Are you sweating over high energy bills? Windows drafty or broken? Champion is here to help. With our 70th anniversary sale, buy 2 windows, get 2 free.
At Champion, we design new windows specific to your home's needs.
Then they are built in our very own factory.
Installed by a team of professionals and guaranteed for a lifetime by our best-in-class warranty.
Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Call or go online to book your free estimate at getchampionwindows.com.
My name is Kyla Engelke. I'm a cement mason by trade. All the road builders are insanely busy right now. If someone comes in wanting or needing a job, we've got them. The infrastructure law that Joe Biden got passed is putting people back to work. Look at all of the bridges, look at all of the roadways, look at all of the people that are working. All of that's pretty awesome. To have a president like Joe Biden that's fighting for good jobs, it's huge.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
After numerous attempts to be ousted, Megan Wolf says she's not going anywhere. News 3 Now sits down in an exclusive interview with the top elections official. Plus, we preview more than 100 Wisconsin-made products competing to be crowned the coolest. That's tonight at 6.
Wisconsin's newest and most exclusive sports show, Wisconsin Huddle. It's a dynamic 30-minute weekly special produced for the die-hard fans of Wisconsin athletics. Wisconsin Huddle, Friday nights at 6:30. Brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Economic experts say credit card debt is at an all-time high, and it's often college students carrying a balance as well. Their interest rates often top 20%. Christine Lazar shows us what they're buying.
College student Florentino Gonzalez uses his credit card for essentials like groceries and has around $1,000 in credit card debt.
$1,000 is still a massive amount of money for me as of right now.
A survey by U.S. News and World Report found 42% of college students are carrying credit card debt. And for 28% of them, that debt exceeds $2,000.
If you consider they probably also have student loan debt they're going to have to pay off when they get out of college, when you add credit card debt to that, that can really put them behind as soon as they graduate from college.
Credit card expert Beverly Harzog says the majority of students in debt didn't get there with impulse spending. Nearly half say they used their cards for school-related expenses, like books and fees. The other half say they need it for living expenses. And it appears students may not be fully educated on credit card terms and conditions. In the survey, only 19% knew how a credit score is measured.
I think this is where parents can really step in, make sure they understand how personal finance works so that they're prepared.
Harzog says if possible, students should avoid using the credit card until they can pay off the balance.
I pay it off every month on time. So if not, then what happens.
Experts say it's also important to create a budget and set up auto pay so you don't miss a payment. Christine Lazar, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Now the East Coast preparing for the worst. Hurricane Lee moving closer. The Category 1 storm expected to deliver high storm surge, winds, flooding in the hours ahead. Forecasters predict hurricane-force winds and the heaviest rain in Maine through Saturday. And with tropical storm conditions threatening many neighboring states, most boat owners aren't taking any chances.
I'd say it's better to be safe and get your boat out of the water and have a boat to look forward to on Monday.
The next potential hurricane of the Atlantic season is already on deck. The center says it's too early to tell if this system will impact the U.S. mainland. Gary has more on Hurricane Lee as it heads for New England. Gary.
Yeah, tropical storm warnings remain in effect for the Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine coastline, and much of interior Maine also now under a tropical storm warning because those strong winds will move inland. But the good news, at least for Lee, is that, number one, it's weakening a little bit. Maximum sustained wind still at 80 miles an hour, but notice the sheared nature of this. The center of circulation here, most of the clouds and precipitation are to the north and to the west. That's an indication that dry air is starting to get wrapped around the storm, and that will start to weaken it. But the strongest winds are always on the east side of a northward moving hurricane because of the counterclockwise wind circulation. So you add the forward speed of the storm and the wind circulation, and that's why the strongest winds are likely to stay east of Maine. Now, the forecast from the National Hurricane Center keeps it as a Category 1 hurricane or just a very strong tropical storm as it makes landfall probably in the western portion of Nova Scotia. Again, notice Maine is on the west side of the storm, so that the winds will be a little bit weaker, but still a fair amount of storm surge from the counterclockwise wind circulation. Notice the coastline here. That just allows the area, the water to pile up right along the shoreline. But eventually, Lee will just kind of weaken as it moves back out into the northern Atlantic where the waters are much cooler. Around here, well, we tried to get some rain in here, but just look at how quickly those showers have fallen apart. A little wider radar perspective. 3 hours ago, it looked like a solid line of showers and isolated thunderstorms, and now there's almost nothing left. And the problem is that the air is drier here. So even 6-hour future track radar doesn't show much in the way of showers tonight. We'll have to wait until the next batch out to the west reaches us sometime during the day tomorrow. But notice the relative humidity. 43% in Madison, but 70% in La Crosse. Humidity is in the 70 to 80% range here. So once the showers move out of that more humid air into the drier air, they just kind of evaporate. So it works against us. Final drive forecast again, the big game tonight. This is actually, it should be Sun Prairie at Sun Prairie East at Sun Prairie West. Temperatures will be in the mid-60s, mostly cloudy skies. Perhaps an isolated shower for the Badger game tomorrow. Kickoff 11 a.m. against Georgia Southern. Notice the temperatures. Upper 60s to lower 70s, very comfortable for the fans in the stands. It'll generally be cloudy, but I think the best rain chances will probably be after the game, more like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. 3 things you need to know: slight chance of showers tonight, chance of showers tomorrow, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm, but then dry and comfortable from Sunday through Tuesday with highs in the 70s. After a shower or thunderstorm chance Tuesday night, high temperatures will be 80 or a little bit better for Wednesday and Thursday. For planning your night, again, the shower chance is pretty minimal this evening as the showers move into the drier air. Temperatures mainly in the 60s. We get to about midnight, temperatures mid-60s. The cloud cover will keep temperatures up tonight, so I'm only looking for lows in the upper 50s and lower 60s. But as we head into the day tomorrow, the next batch of showers and perhaps even some isolated thunderstorms arrive. These will be better off in the afternoon, but again, some of those may just fall apart before they reach us. Planning your night across Dane County: 60 for the low in Belleville, 60 in Wanakee with mostly cloudy skies across the rest of southern Wisconsin, 50 for the low in Camp Douglas, but 61 for the low in Janesville. Tomorrow, variable cloudiness, chance of a shower or a thunderstorm, high temperature at 74, and the rainfall not going to amount to very much. Most areas less than 1/10 of an inch of rain, unless you're lucky enough to get caught underneath a heavier shower or thunderstorm. First one, 7 to 10 day forecast, and temperatures getting into the mid-70s by Tuesday, lower 80s for the middle of next week. Maybe some better chances for rain from Friday into Saturday and Sunday of next weekend with high temperatures mainly in the 70s at that point. As we check out first warn traffic, it's a Friday on the Beltline right now. Things looking pretty good. There were some slowdowns around Monona Drive. Those seem to have dissipated. Right now, about a 15 or 14-minute trip either way on the Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate, and 18 minutes inbound from Sun Prairie to downtown. Outbound, that same trip will take you 19 minutes. US 12 Midland to Sauk City is 16 minutes today, and the Beltline to Janesville on I-3990 takes you 23 minutes. That's your news for now. First warn traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you. And next at 5, we take a look back 60 years to the bombing of a church in Alabama, how it marked a pivotal point of change for the civil rights movement. Stay with us.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Your John Deere is here. Get yours during our Gear Up for Fall sales event. Right now, get your new Gator utility vehicle with 0% for 36 months. Get a John Deere now. And
power up at Sloan's.
fall just got greener at Sloan's.
When an appliance you rely on goes kaput, you can count on family-owned Brothers Maine, Southern Wisconsin's local appliance authority since 1938. With thousands of in-stock options, we have the brands you want at the lowest prices guaranteed. Even big box can't beat our prices. Our experienced team of appliance experts will help you make the right selection, and we deliver it fast and free to your home. What you need when you need it. Shop appliances you can bring home today at our Madison and Janesville showrooms. Feel like family. Brothers Maine.
Trust your feet to Morgan's Shoes.
Birkenstock ushers in a new collection with clean lines, easier than ever closures, and the most necessary footbed in your closet. Slide into Morgan's Shoes and shop our new Birkenstock arrivals. See what's fresh for fall. Birkenstock platforms and wedges, cork-powered sneakers, or up your game with our iconic men's and women's sandals.
Comfort with style. Trust your feet to Morgan's Shoes.
Morgan's Shoes, Hilldale.
Get 11% off everything at Menards and take care of all your automotive needs. From tools and accessories to maintenance and everything in between. Wiper blades? Copy that. Motor oil? Done. Trust Menards to help out with all your automotive needs. Protect your boats and recreational vehicles with RV and Marine antifreeze. Its burst-proof protection is formulated to defend freezing temperatures down to -50 degrees. Pick up a gallon for $2.49 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
To everyone who's hungry for something special,
Culver's is the place for us. Hi, what can I make fresh for you today? It's nice being greeted by people who are glad to see you. And I appreciate that they use real ingredients, like fresh beef and Wisconsin cheese. The frozen custard is so fresh and creamy, it tastes like it was made just for us. It's our pleasure. Just spending time with family, that's what mealtime at Culver's is all about.
from Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious!
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here and ready to help. Anyone in Wisconsin can call, text, or chat to get connected to a trained 988 counselor. Trained counselors are here to support anyone experiencing a suicidal, mental health, or substance use crisis. You can also contact 988 if you're concerned about someone. 988 is confidential and free to all Wisconsin residents. 988 24/7. Call, text, chat. Here to support you.
Your John Deere is here. Get yours during Gear Up for Fall. Right now, get 0.9% for 84 months on a 2032R. Get a John Deere now. And
Power up with Sloan's.
fall just got a little greener at Sloan's.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
60 years ago today, a Baptist church in Birmingham, Alabama was bombed. 4 young girls died. Their deaths drew attention to the community's violent struggle for civil rights. Danya Backus spoke with one woman who lived through the attack and discusses her lifelong fight for equality.
1963 is a year forever etched in Paulette Roby's memory.
This church is sacred to me.
16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama often served as headquarters for civil rights mass meetings and rallies in the racially segregated city.
It was a place where we came, we learned, we was taught about nonviolent. We would have the nonviolent class downstairs. But the mass meetings mostly was in the sanctuary because they was crowded all the time.
But on Sunday, September 15th, 1963, just before church began services, a bomb exploded. 4 young girls, Denise McNair, Cynthia Wesley, Addie Mae Collins, and Carol Robertson were killed. Dozens were injured.
I just couldn't believe that someone would go that far.
Roby was 13 at the time of the bombing and frequented the church as a youth activist.
I couldn't grasp that at that age, at that time. And it scared me because I thought, where will you go now if you can't go to church?
She was all too familiar with the violent backlash from segregationists. Months before the bombing, she was a part of the Children's Crusade, one of hundreds of students who peacefully marched to downtown Birmingham to demand an end to segregation. When they arrived, police were waiting with fire hoses and dogs.
When they used those hoses on you, those hoses would take you down the street.
Images of the force used on children and outrage over the bombing of 16th Street Baptist Church led to the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The events also fueled Roby's life as an activist.
60 years, why is it still so important to be talking about what happened here?
So that the younger generation can have like a map of what we went through, so that they can not go that same way. You've got to learn your history. If you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Danya Backus, CBS News, Birmingham, Alabama.
In 1977, Ku Klux Klan leader Robert Chambliss was convicted of murder for the bombings. The case was reopened again in the 80s and 90s, and 2 other former Klan members were convicted in the early 2000s. A 4th suspect died before he could be brought to trial. We'll be right back.
At Revamp, we transform your old beat-up concrete from this to this in one day. We grind down the concrete to open up the pores for a perfect bond. Then we repair all cracks and apply our base coat and chip and seal it with our polyaspartic top coat that will never chip, peel, or discolor. On top of all that, our coatings are ridiculously easy to clean and covered by our exclusive lifetime warranty. And right now, we're running our 60-60-60 sale. So when you purchase your new concrete coating from any of our Revamp brands, you get a $60 Visa gift card, plus either 60% off the installation or 60-month no-interest financing. And when you call during this program, you'll also get up to 10 carbon fiber concrete stitches free, which help reinforce cracks and stop them from spreading. A $350 value for free.
South Central Wisconsin homeowners, pick up the phone. Call 1-800-886-8411. That's 1-800-886-8411.
Every spring, the love of my life came here to paint. Cress helped us make sure she's never forgotten.
We are Cress. We truly believe your memories matter.
Steinhafels is your sleep solution destination. Right now, you can get a Queen Beauty Rest mattress for only $3.99, or upgrade to the luxury and comfort of a Beauty Rest Black Hybrid and pay just $51 per month when you use our 72-month financing. Plus, you'll get $300 in Steinhafels cash. Isn't it time you got a great night's sleep? Shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com. Relax, it's Steinhafels.
When an inexperienced Whole Foods driver tipped his truck over while pulling off the interstate to take a break, a bus carrying a high school band ran into the overturned semi. The crash killed 5 people and injured dozens of others. 2 of the victims' families hired Habish, and Rotier. The settlements they received totaled over $4.5 million. And the skill expended by the Habish team is head and shoulders above one phone call and a quick settlement. Habish, and Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Daddy teaches you can be anything in this world that you want to be, right? Don't Daddy teach you that?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're black or white or any color.
See, this is how children think right here. Critical race theory wants to end that.
You can make friends.
Yeah, you can make friends, no matter what color they are. So we need to stop CRT.
The truth wins if we're all brave enough to tell it.
Coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6, the Henry Vilas Zoo welcoming its newest member. Meet baby Jeffrey the Marmoset. That story and more coming your way in another 30 minutes. Gary's back as we look at a final check of the forecast.
Yeah, some clouds out there right now, but really nothing in the way of rain. So just an outside chance of a shower this evening.
All right, Gary, thank you. Thanks for joining us. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.